Hey, third grade. In reading class, we have been doing comparing and contrasting with Venn diagrams, those two circles that overlap each other, and you guys have been doing a really great job. I actually have a book for us to read today called Last Stop on Market Street, and this book never tells us what city it takes place in, but I think it's Philadelphia. I think that the illustrations and the pictures look like Philadelphia, and we even have Market Street in Philadelphia, and we have a bus that takes us to Market Street. So I really think that this book is about Philadelphia, but it never tells us that. So while I'm reading, you should definitely be noticing if you think it's also Philadelphia. You can comment on this video. I'd love to hear what you think. We're going to actually be comparing and contrasting this character Nana with her grandson CJ. Okay, so CJ and Nana are the characters that we're going to compare and contrast once we're finished reading this story. It's called Last Stop on Market Street. Words by Matt De La Pena, and pictures by Christian Robinson. It has really, really cool illustrations. I love this illustrator. All right, CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus and all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon, and made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the sunglasses man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in back. "Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and began to sing. To feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered. I like. Close my eyes. Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. So he wants a iPod over here, like what the kids have, but Nana was saying that he should just enjoy the guitar. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. See the beautiful rainbow? He looked all around them again at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamp still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the walls. So now we know where they're going. They're going to a soup kitchen. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, I'm glad we came. A soup kitchen is a place where you can get free food if you need it. He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, me too, CJ. Now, come on. So you see all these people here, some of them might be homeless, or they might just be going through a hard time and they need some food. So this soup kitchen, these people volunteer here, like CJ and his Nana. They volunteer and they give out free food. Yep. Isn't that a cool book? And I really think that city looks like Philadelphia. So curious to see what you guys think. All right, so I'm gonna share my little whiteboard here and let's do our Venn diagram together. So move this out of the way for me. Okay. All right, so we have our two circles. It's kind of a funny looking circle. There we go. Okay. And over here we have Nana. And over here we have CJ. And in the middle we'll talk about what they have in common. So first let's think about Nana. What makes her different than CJ? What makes Nana different than CJ? Well, she's kind of old, right? And CJ is young. What else? You can go ahead and tell someone next to you. Say it out loud. What makes Nana and CJ different? How can we contrast them? Well, one thing I noticed is that Nana was excited to volunteer. And how was CJ feeling? CJ was complaining, right? He was complaining a lot. He didn't want to ride the bus. He didn't want to volunteer, right? One thing that I noticed in general, I would say, is Nana had a good attitude. And most of the time on the bus, right, and as they're walking along, CJ had a bad attitude, right? Now let's think about how they are the same. Maybe think about what happened at the end of the story. What did they have in common at the end? I'm gonna say they were both happy to volunteer, right? At the end of the story, once they actually both got to the soup kitchen, they were both really happy to volunteer. Just took CJ a little while to stop complaining and get to that point, right? But that's okay. Sometimes when life is hard, we complain, and then we get over it and we learn. CJ looks like he was pretty young, and he had to learn that he needed to be he needed to have a good attitude about volunteering and helping out. All right, so there's our little Venn diagram today. You don't need to add anything to this. I'm just gonna post this video and you guys will be watching it, and you can just let me know when you watched it, and that's enough. You're gonna keep reading Frindle this week, and you're gonna do a Venn diagram comparing Nick Allen from Frindle to yourself, what you have in common with him as a student, and also how you guys are different. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.